I don't understand these new settings. Did they like completely change OBS in like the 3 weeks I was gone? It's been longer than 3 weeks, hasn't it? No, it's been like 3 weeks-ish. Yeah, something like that. Hi. I don't know if I'm
Every
working.
Has its
Hold
final
on.
Day. Don't rush.
Why is everything so hard today? Swear to God, everything. Okay, there we go. There we go. I'm good. We're good. I'm good. Sort of. Audio's in 1 year only. Okay. Let me adjust. Hold on. Oh dear. Is it still in 1 year only? Uh-oh. I don't know how to fix that.
Osmanthus
we'll
wine
just...
tastes the same
Is
as
this
I
better?
remember.
Does that feel better?
But where are those who share
Let's just
memory?
do this. Oh. Sorry. Here's the thing. My computer melted. Okay? Like, my computer literally melted a couple weeks ago. And I had to get a completely new machine. And I lost all of my settings. So if we have a few technical difficulties, that's kind of why. I had all of this sorted and now I just don't. So anyway, yeah, no, it literally, the battery melted in my laptop.
Where do you want to go next?
So, oh my God, Jean-Louis, please stop.
Tourist spots. I have a few references.
Okay, we're better. We're better. So I actually have no idea what the stream quality is like anymore because again, all my settings are gone. This computer should be a lot more capable of rendering at higher qualities, but I don't know if that will actually display. So we're gonna find out. So yeah, stream feedback, very helpful this round. Very helpful this round. I hope if you guys can help me out with that, that would be great. Welcome all new members. Appreciate you guys. It's been a while. I know it's hard when a brand new region drops, you know, because like there's so much I gotta just get a handle on, and it's really difficult for me to do that on stream. So I kind of have to do that on my own. Now that I've got kind of the basics of this region kind of down, and I've done some preliminary research, and I have a couple of theories in the works. I feel a little bit more comfortable going on stream. So yeah. Hi, how is everybody? Can I please talk about how Paimon said she got sucked into whirlpools before she met the Traveler? I mean, I don't really have anything to say about that. It is what it is, isn't it? Don't you think? I haven't done my commissions yet. We're gonna do those while we talk. Oh. There's one right there. All right then. Is there any meaning to all the crabs in the ruins, both Institute and during the world quests? I mean, I think the crabs, they're just... It's a water nation. You're gonna have crabs everywhere. Return to crab! That kind of thing. You know? But, I don't think there's any sort of lore to it, with the crabs. Although I guess we could like talk about what is the word for everything to return to crab? Karsa, I forget. Big words on Saturday don't work out for me. You stop playing in 2.4 and you don't know what the heck's going on anymore. Oh, in the and loops, each loop has a different amount of crabs, with one being behind the gates. Oh, okay. So, I think the crabs in that case are just to show which loop you're on. Because, like, you can predictably make those crabs appear. And I think it's just to sort of, nudge at you and say, like, hey, something's different, right? Because, like, you're basically going through the same... You're basically going through the exact same... Hold on, I need to get... You're going through the same place. over and over and over again, and the rooms are all the same. Like, everything's the same. Okay, I have a funny story to share here in a minute. Just gonna make some people really mad. So I think the enemy changing is just to show you you're not actually going through the exact same thing every time. There are subtle differences. So that's what I think the crabs are. Yeah, a child, right? Okay, so here's what happened. I need to preface this by saying, like, I don't hate Child, he just doesn't appeal to me. So I've just never felt the need to pull for him. But now I guess since I have him, I'm collecting all of the Harbingers. It's gonna be my thing now. I'm just gonna pull for every Harbinger, and you can hold me to that at this point. I had 3 intertwined fates. Like, literally had 3 intertwined fates. Okay. And I was on 7 pity from Linny. Like, cause here, let's go. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I think I was on 6, 7. And I was just like, oh, I've got 3 intertwined fates. I'm just gonna yeet my fates and see if I can get Fremine on my 4-star pity, right? And Child heard me talking shit and he showed up. So now I have him and I have built him. So I have, yeah, that's a thing. I mean, he showed up. What did he show up as? Hold up. He showed up as like literally I had just gotten Linny. So I've got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so he showed up at 4 pity. Okay. So like I can't even count that as building pity, and I can't be mad about it either because I can't be mad about it either because it's like a free 5-star. So all right. I mean, I didn't really have much intention of building or using Fremine. I just kind of wanted to have him because I have really bad 4-star luck. Like, I didn't have I just got my first Sara like 2 months ago. So I wanted to just have one to have it. So anyway, how do I feel about his gameplay? I mean, it's fine. I don't hate it. I think I need to put some more work into him though, just because his solo damage isn't all that great. How would I want Furina to be redeemed, and what do you think the game would or could do? I don't think she needs redemption. I think that's silly. Furina's interesting to me because she just seems like, I said this once already, but she just seems like a scared kid to me who's kind of just putting on a really strong front, and she's trying to live up to some really big expectations. And she reminds me a lot of Nahida in that way because that's basically what Nahida had to do. She was trying to live up to Ruka Devada, basically. A bitter pill to swallow. Mindless. Step right up. So I guess I see them as like more or less the same. But Nahida just happens to be a little bit more competent overall. Who's next? I keep forgetting I have to like manually deactivate his thing. That's gonna be like my big issue with him, I think. Is remembering to do that. Because I will not remember to do. Is this like, oh, there's the other one. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do the underwater one yet. We're gonna do something first. I've also turned off text to speech. You should still see notifications show up on screen if I set this up right. But I turned off text to speech because I found it was really annoying me. In the sense of like, how to put this? Yeah, like that. You'll hear the notification. You'll probably see it come up on screen. I want it to tell me that there is one in case I miss them, but I don't like being forced to answer a question before I've kind of finished my previous train of thought. So I've turned off text to speech, basically. That's that. Yeah. Let's take care of these guys, and then I will.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Whee!
Bring it on.
Whee! I have a team of entirely DPSs right now. Kanade, thanks for the super.
No time to lose.
I know Fontaine just released, but what are your expectations for Natlan? Like, currently some Central American, West African names were dropped in lore about the talking stick. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have seen, I think Whale Milk did it. Yeah, it was Whale Milk. I don't know if you guys have seen Whale Milk's, take on all of this. He put together a really good analysis of like every inspiration, every name inside the talking stick, which was really good. Ultimately, I think he was saying like there's a lot of North African, which is expected, Central American. It sounds like there's some, I don't want to say South American. Well, no, yeah, South American. I was thinking like South North America. Just, like I'm thinking Anasazi when I say that. But I like what they're gonna do with it because there's a lot of Ethiopian, weirdly a lot of Ethiopian influences that we can draw. And I don't know if you guys remember, but there was I think I talked about it. Did I talk about it? I remember now. In Sumeru, there's also a lot of Ethiopian influences. And I think a lot of that's because of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, which has some relevancy to some of Genshin's plotline for reasons that are probably not obvious yet. I finished these. So I'll be pretty excited about that. I hope they go farther south for Africa. But I was kind of worried that Natlan was just gonna be central and parts of South America, but it seems like they're really gonna lay into Middle and South Africa as well, which I'm very glad about. I thought they were just kind of gonna leave it at North Africa and call it a day. So very happy about that. But yeah, I mean, like it does seem like we're gonna get. This is where it's gonna get a little tricky for me because while I do know some mythology from Central America, it's only been recently brought to my attention that some of the academic terms for different ethnic groups or cultures in the area are probably not correct. So I am probably going to say some wrong things for a while I sort of figure out what those are, because it's not entirely clear and there's not like a super how do I put this? There's not a strong consensus on like who's the authority on it. So I'm gonna need time for that, but that's part of the reason I haven't really talked about Natlan yet, is because my focus has been on Fontaine and the Industrial Revolution of Europe and North America at this point, among other things. So there's that. But I am very, very, very happy about the inclusion of additional African cultures. I was really worried they weren't going to do that. So I have nothing planned, I've just realized. But that's probably okay. I think we're just going to wander around. Because I've explored a fair bit, because you kind of have to in order to do all of the quests and stuff. But I haven't, like, been super thorough. If I see things, I don't always go for them. Sometimes I just kind of leave them.
A bitter pill to swallow. Remember, health comes first.
Whee!
Let's get this show on the road.
I should probably mention I'm really bad with Lenny, but he's fun. This also doesn't help.
Step right up.
All right.
Bitter pill to swallow. Behold.
This tastes taking too long. takes too long. I have forgotten how to play this game without Wanderer. I have to say that too. My dependency has gotten really bad. I don't know if that answered your question or if there really was a question. It was more like, what am I thinking about? But, there was one other thing I wanted to point out. I predicted a while ago that Natlan, just based on current patterns of what Hoyo is covering in each sort of region, like thematically, I was predicting we'd get some Celestia lore when we got to Fontaine, and then we'd get more dragon lore when we got to Natlan. I think that kind of holds, except I think we're actually going to get both in both places. I think they're more explicitly entwined than I had originally expected, which is kind of cool, honestly. I have a theory currently that the Primordial One was actually a dragon, which makes a lot of things really complicated going forward. And I'll elaborate on this at some point, but I've been thinking, based on the fact that I'm like 100% convinced that Neuvillette is basically the Hydro Dragon. He might not be the Hydro Sovereign, but he's definitely the Hydro Dragon, right? More specifically, I'm fully convinced he's the Leviathan. But just because of that, and who introduced him in his character card and what they had to say about it. I don't know if you guys went on like Hoyo's, like the Hoyo Lab page, and then were like reading through his extended bio. But his extended bio was really interesting because it did actually directly reference the Leviathan, which is neat. But I think because it talks about a time of resurrection, it does make me wonder if, like, the stuff that's going on in Celestia and the stuff that happened to the dragons are way more intertwined than we initially thought. And that's kind of going to come to a head in Natlan. And I especially think this now because, a lot of Central American cultures, they put a lot of emphasis on, like, the death and rebirth of the sun, right? And there are a lot of myths that look like they could be very interesting in the context of Genshin. So in light of that, I'm actually pretty excited. I think Fontaine will do a pretty good job setting up for that. I think that's kind of what Sumeru was doing. I mean, Sumeru was the first region where we were kind of like actually getting to know Teyvat, like, as the world and how it functioned a bit. Because prior to that, Irminsul wasn't really, like, a thing most people even knew about. You know what I mean? So, I like that prospect. I feel like I've already gotten stuff over here. I don't know why I'm doing these other than they're just fun. Vroom, vroom. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. Do I plan on pulling the Hydro Archon? Yeah, probably. I like her. I do like her. Am I planning to pull for Neuvillette? Yes, I am. I will. I will pull for him. I have... I'd say, like, I started farming for him, but that's not entirely true. I mean, I have enough primos set aside for him. That's kind of about as far as I got. Oh, I did pick up the Battle Pass Catalyst, because I got a feeling it'll be good on either him or Risley, and I'll plan on getting Risley at some point. Whether I get him this time or later, I don't know. We'll see. For those of you who don't know, Risley is the punchy, wolfy dude. The guy, he looks like the prison brawler guy. That guy. Yeah. I know his name looks like Riothslay, but it's actually pronounced Risley or Risley. I think it's funny that a lot of native English speakers complain about names from other cultures being spelled really weird or really difficult to pronounce, and then they pull that kind of shit on their own names. It's like, you're the worst offenders. What the heck?
Squall Fury. Search for it.
Anyway. I digress. Thanks for the super sheep. Sherber? Is it Sherber like a Sherbert? Or Sheber? Sure. That's hard to say. That's really hard to say. Fencer Dario, thanks for the super. With how the Archon quest has played out so far, it could be plausible that Fontaine will be a rare instance where the Fatui is our ally for once. I think the Fatui is our ally in general, actually. I think this is something that the Traveler is gonna have to come to terms with. I can't break these with this team, can I? I cannot. Oh dear. Lenny, I think you have to. I think we have to. Sorry, buddy. We gotta.
Time to get down to business.
We gotta trade you out for a bit. My only complaint about using Dia to break rocks is that her punch doesn't auto-aim, and it's annoying. Oh dear. Why did you quit on it? That's rude. There it is. I meant my YouTube app. My YouTube app that I'm looking at chat on. It quit on me, and I'm like, why would you quit? So rude. Okay. Yeah, it's Risley. I looked it up. In fact, I looked it up so thoroughly that I found 4 pronunciations for Risley. And if Joe says it's pronounced Riothisley, I'm going to throw a fit, and I'm just gonna call him Mr. Rizzles for like the rest of forever. Just so everyone's clear on this. Anyway. I got into a scuffle over it with a British friend of mine. They were like they were arguing that I was not saying it right. And I thought it was really funny. And I was like, no, I'm saying it right, I promise. And then we had to like go hunting, and they were convinced it was one way. And then they found like 2 instances where it was pronounced like Risley. I forget. And then I found 2 more instances where it was pronounced Risley, and another one where it was pronounced Risley. So we're at an impasse now. But yeah, I think the Fatui is our ally. Sorry, I had to open up a thing, and now Levi is really thirsty. Yes, buddy. I don't even know if you guys can hear that. I redid all of my sound settings, so I don't know what you guys can hear and what you can't. I got nothing. I don't know why I'm going. I've already been around this area, and I don't know why I'm doing this, so we're just gonna go underwater. So I really love Dia for Fontaine, because Clam Dia is basically completely immortal underwater. And it's excellent. What happened? What just happened? What just happened? Hello? Me? I hit it, and then something disappeared, and now it's... I don't know what happened. What if I hit it again? What if I hit it again? Nothing happens. Okay, great. Awesome. Love it. Hold on. Gotta really... Oh no, we're... no, okay, I just want to make sure I didn't miss one. YouTube deleted it. I was not happy. Comissa, thank you for your super. If the theory of Nouvelette being the Hydro Dragon is true and it rains every time he cries, then wouldn't he be the main cause of the flooding? It reminds me of Elenus and how he couldn't help his love being destructive to humans. Yes. I love that. Actually, that would be very interesting. Just like thematically. Oops, I'm going down. I don't think the water is coming from him, but it would be very interesting if it was. If only because if you guys watched my little analysis video, little, yeah. If you watched my analysis video on this, you know that I'm kind of a fan of the idea that Agaria and Nuvolette had a type of very strong relationship. I called them a consort sort of relationship because to me that kind of makes sense based on the mythology. But who knows what Hoyo's gonna do with it. But I like the idea of that because it means that we're working with another immortal character that basically has no idea how to deal with grief. And I think that's neat. Oh. Okay, then. Another instance of this. Don't know how to solve the puzzle, and it's okay. We're gonna find out. Well, yeah, I know there's something in there, obviously. We'll just... Oh, mine! There's no other way to heal underwater. But I like that. Because it might mean that, like, Furina actually doesn't know what the problem is either. But it would also mean that, like, Nuvolette... The prophecy's a little bit weird because it kind of implies that Furina's going to be the only one left, which would mean Nuvolette's not even going to be there. So if he's kind of the cause of the disaster, it would sort of destroy him in the process, which I don't know if that seems like it'll work. I don't know. It's a really cool idea, and I kind of like it just because it's thematically on point, you know? It also kind of plays into that whole idea that dragons sort of make up the world, you know? Like, in some way, they are intrinsically tied to the actual physical structure of the world, and Archons kind of aren't, which is also interesting. Oh, wait, that one's already... What was I doing? I completely lost my train of thought. Is there another one? Or is that just treasure? I think it's just treasure that I wanted. I don't need this money. I wish it was something else. Like artifact EXP. I can always use artifact EXP, but I can't always use money. I have 40 million Mora. And it really throws me off, because when I switch over to Star Rail, I never have any Mora, you know? Well, of course not. Mora's not in that game. I never have any credits. Never have any money. So, right, I don't know. I mean, the thing's in there, but I don't know how to get in there. Maybe there's a hint. And I'm just being dumb. And that's okay. It's okay if I'm being dumb, because I'm kind of like doing... my brain isn't really focused on this. Wow. It's an otter! Don't hurt little Nuvi's babies! Yay! Oh. More money I don't need. Can I go under? Well, let me in if I can. Yes. Well, that's good. I feel like if this happened to me in real life, I would just panic. Like hardcore, I would just panic. Don't get me wrong, I love going underwater. I love snorkeling. It's super fun. But, like, if I got stuck under something like that, I'd be really upset. I don't know how to get in here. And don't tell me either! Let me suffer. It's okay. I'm just gonna... Oh, right, I gotta pay attention to the thing. Pay attention to the screen! Right. Well, I know there's something in there, but I don't need that one. We need a yellow one. But the yellow one's in there. Oh. Wait, can you break it if you... What? Oh, what? Can I I have the singy? I want the singy. Does the singy work on these? No. That's unfortunate. I tried. Oh. Wait, no, it... What? What? I'm very... Oh, no, it didn't work. They vanished. Okay. That makes more sense. That makes more sense to me. Okay. That makes way more sense to me. I don't know where the yellow one is that I can get at. Because I can't get in it. Lester, thank you for the super! I've been wanting to poke my brains on what I think about the Halo crown of Paimon and what the middle is supposed to represent. I'm of two opinions, actually, when it comes to Paimon's crown. I hate these things. Why did I come here? I usually just wait until Dia goes into goblin mode. I don't wanna. This guy annoys me. I wanna figure out how to get into the tower thing. But I bet you have to go underground somewhere. I don't know where that is. We'll just wander. Right, sorry. I'm of two minds of it right now. Like, I think since the very beginning of the game, I've always thought it's actually supposed to represent Irminsul. Because I've always kind of thought of her as part of Irminsul, but I don't actually know how accurate that is in general. So, I mean, like, we'll see. Oh, right, I'm supposed to, like, I'm on a timer, aren't I? Yeah, I was on a timer. I just gotta turn my brain off, and the timer went with it. Okay. Oh, you have to do it with 2 attacks. Oh. There's no timer. It's just... I see. I don't want to do that then. That requires brain power. Oh. You can do it with 1! Okay. Yeah, I've always thought it was a tree. Because I've always thought of Paimon as being like... How do I phrase this? I've always thought of Paimon as kind of being a bit more important than she seems to be at first. Like, I know a lot of people are just like, oh no, Paimon's like the Primordial One or something like that. I'm not entirely convinced that that's quite the case. I've just always sort of thought of her as like the one who dreams of dreaming. Like, she's kind of like the one who's observing the world in a lot of ways. And she's sort of trapped in her own dream kind of thing. Like, that's kind of how I've thought of Paimon in the past. I don't know how much I still subscribe to that, but that was kind of like why I thought her crown was more like a tree. But the fact that she has a crown makes me think that she's like probably not the Primordial One, but she might be half of them. Or even like a child of one. And the crown is really just like a halo. Like, it's literally just a symbol of divinity. I also think that in a lot of ways you could look at the little middle part of her crown as being a how do I put this? Not a tree, but like a celestial nail. And I know that sounds weird, but the reason I say that is I say celestial nail because in Fontaine we kind of have like the pneumacia. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. What else is new? Oh, I think I already did this puzzle. We're going over here now. But Oh, it can't go. Oh, I see. It can't go through the middle bit here. I see. Well, that's challenging. That's hard. Come down. No, it's still stuck. It's still stuck. I don't want it. The mechanics of this are just kind of uncomfortable. Unless there's something else that needs to be done here that I'm not seeing. Which is probably the case. That is probably the case. Yep, that's probably the case. Why? Why you no go down? Physics puzzles! I don't wanna. I give up. We'll leave it. I just want to smash shiny rocks. My brain stopped. It just went bloop. All done. No more thinking. That's basically been the whole week, actually. That's been the whole week. Just bloop. No more thinking. No, I was thinking about it more like a celestial nail, because I don't know if you guys have read like any of the Princess Fischl stuff or the Legend of the Shattered Halberd and whatnot. There's a lot of ongoing themes about swords falling from the sky. Kaya talks about one. You know, we've got these celestial nails. We've also got these swords which make up the pneumosia. Sorry. Reactions, which are interesting, but like there's a lot of stuff about swords falling from skies, and I think about her crown, and I'm like, yeah, this could kind of like you could see where this would be the thing, right? I don't know if that makes sense. It's also kind of possible that it's like a Kabbalistic reference, because we do have some like literal Kabbalah imagery in the game now, thanks to Renee, which is cool. And my friends wrote a really cool theory all about it where they detailed all of this stuff, and they're way more accurate than I was in my very first attempt way back when. I was not all that well informed. I had the spirit. I had the right answer, but the wrong math. How's that? Yeah, so, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking more like that. I'm not saying she is a fish. I'm not saying she's Fischl. I'm just saying, like, it's very reminiscent of Fischl. Thematically. So it makes you wonder if things like this happen often. Oh, no, not again. I don't actually know the mechanics behind the barnacles. They just annoy me. I don't know if I'm supposed to counter them or, like, what this situation is. And I'm probably not. I'm probably just supposed to go... I don't know if I just hit them multiple times. Will you just die? Nope. See, I don't understand the barnacles. But I suppose I could just read the tutorial. I mean, maybe that would just help me. Maybe it would answer my question. But that involves reading a tutorial. Which we don't do that here. We don't read tutorials. I was about to say we don't read, but we read a lot. We read a lot. It's not tutorials. Dump. There. Now they don't annoy me anymore. Because they are dead. Okay, sorry. Hold it till it hits you. I've tried that. I don't know if, like, I have really bad timing in general, or my controller is just weird, or I just don't know what the thing is. Did I see Wei's theory about Miko working with the Fatui? No. Was that the latest one? I thought the latest one was like about the twins being eons from Star Rail. I don't remember the Miko Fatui one. I mean, I might have remembered something similar to that back in 2.0, but I haven't seen anything recently. I don't know. I don't know. There was one. So, trying to remember. There was a thing about Paimon's crown a while back that I can't. I saw it somewhere and I couldn't remember where I'd seen it. But I do. Okay, just to close out that thought, I think Paimon's crown in general is probably like a direct reference to the shades. Just because of the halos that are in domains. You know, like she feels like a baby shade to me. I guess. I don't know. I don't. Hang my too. I probably said that very badly, and I'm sorry, but thank you for your super. In Halfdan's quest, we saw an Abyss Lector fusing the golden amplification device with the abyssal power. Was it an annihilation reaction, and might be why Conrian soldiers were reacting very badly? I hadn't thought of it as a annihilation reaction, but now that you mention it, why this didn't? That seems plausible. Here's the thing. A while back, I did a piece, which was mostly focusing on Dragonspine. But I did a piece where I was looking at elemental energy as being like akin to radiation, and I'm a bit more convinced of that than ever now that Fontaine's out. And the reason being, it has a little bit to do with Archeum. But it also has to do with the annihilation reactions, because the annihilation reactions in general are actually a real thing, like with radioactivity in physics. Oh, this one looks like you just have to do it in quick succession, but not at the same time. No, they're still gonna make you do it. And I have to line it up. I'm really bad at lining these up. I'm really bad at lining these up. Okay, so we might be here for a while. This underwater stuff's not really my forte. I'm a desert type of person. There we go. So when you say it was an annihilation reaction, you might actually be right, because remember that the abyssal energy sort of turned Jacob into the abyssling, right? Remember that? I haven't heard this track with the voice yet. I don't know if that's just because I've been not paying attention or what the deal is, but cool. I've said it once before that I think abysslings in general and Conria in general was like exposed to some severe radiation in the form of elemental energy, and it like mutated their bodies. And all of the evidence is kind of pointing in that direction, really. right? Like, a lot of it is pointing in that direction. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to do sort of like a reverse annihilation reaction. In the sense of, like, they're trying to undo their curse, the Conrians. But the thing is, like, we were starting to realize that, like, the Abysslings aren't limited only to the Abyss Order and only to Conria. Because, like, the Conrians were turned into Hilitrals in some ways. If they were half-blooded or not pure, whatever that means. But in other ways, they were capable of, like, turning into those lectors. And that just implies, like, they had some sort of godly blood in them, which means that they could probably survive and take on a whole new form, right? Because when they tried to do the same procedure on another dude... What do you... There's a Hydroculus here that I just didn't see? Okay. We'll go look for it. When they tried to do the procedure that turned Jacob into an Abyssling onto somebody else, like, they weren't able to do it because they didn't have the unique constitution, right? So I'm starting to think that certain types of entities in this world are capable of withstanding a certain amount of radiation and then, like, going through a forced speed run of evolution, so to speak. And that might be part, like a side effect of the annihilation reaction. That's my thoughts on it right now. Like, I know it sounds kind of scattered, but, like, that's the thing. I don't think it's actually that scattered. I think I just don't have, like, a lot of good data points to point to for why I think certain things. It's just that, like, it's vibes right now, but they're all vibes that kind of work together. I don't know. I like the annihilation reaction thing, though, because Dainsleif did say that it was a device he'd never seen before. So having it have something to do with technology from, like, 500 years ago makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know where the Hydroculus is. This isn't the one that you have to fish for, is it? I know there's one Hydroculus where you have to fish for it. I don't want to go fishing because I don't have any bait. So we might not get this. But I'll mark it on the map. I'll do that. I should pay attention. No, I don't want to. Okay, yeah, I think it's, yeah, we've already been down there. Yeah, it's probably in the fishy spot? Probably. Because I don't see it. Whee! Unless it was in the boat and I just didn't see it. I'm pretty sure it's... Because it's right in this fishing pond. It has to be one that you fish for, right? This has to be the one you fish for. I'm just gonna, like... I'm just gonna work on the map. I don't want to do this. There. Problem solved. Whee! I'm telling you, we're gonna have to have, like, a whole conversation about more nuclear reaction stuff. It's gonna be a thing. Like, we're all gonna become very, very well informed about nuclear stuff and radioactive stuff by the end of this. To the point where maybe all of our opinions on nuclear energy as a power source might change. Who knows? Maybe that'll be a thing. Okay, I'm distracted a sec. I'm sorry. Did I turn into a microwave? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me catch up with chat because I neglected you guys for a few minutes. Look up. Oh, is it in the sky? Oh, it's okay. I marked it. I'll get it later. It's fine, guys. Totally fine. I need a third thumb. You guys want like a third thumb? Like a third thumb. I've seen like these prosthetics that like allow you to have extra thumbs. And it actually works. Like your brain will actually start to adapt as if you have 3 to 4 thumbs. And I thought that was super cool, but also kind of creepy. Because it means that your brain is so plastic that it could adapt to you having any number of limbs. And that just makes you be like, well, what if one day we just woke up and we were all in like 6-armed meat suits? Our brains would adapt, and like eventually we just never know. That reality wasn't like that. Just never know. Camissa, thank you for the super. Again. Wow. Off topic, but Hosier released an album about Dante's Inferno 2 days after 4.0. Interesting coincidence, considering the Leviathan is referenced in it, and the source deals with themes of death and being reborn and free of sin. Well then, I do love me some coincidental timing. Really love coincidental timing. I'll have to look them up because I actually don't know who they are. I've heard of them, but I don't think I've ever actually, like, experienced any of their music. So I'll have to look them up later. I don't want to do it right now. That means I have to change more scenes in OBS, and please don't make me do that right now. I'm not in a position. I got no work done today. I meant to do work. I'm working on the finale for the Project Teyvat thing that I've been working on for so long right now. Too long. Way too long. Yeah, way too long. I'm gonna be done though. This is the last piece. This is the last piece, and I'm kind of glad that we waited because I got to collect some... I gotta collect some new pieces of evidence, which are really nice. Play in really nicely. I've also convinced several of my lore enthusiast friends into my conspiracy theory. My Genshin conspiracy theory. I won't share it right now. I don't want to share it right now because then it'll just spoil the surprise for later. I want everyone to gasp! Or to be like, you full of shit. One of the two. One of the two. You guys can pick which one, but one of the two. I don't really like the underwater combat. I mean, like, it doesn't feel bad. I just don't really like it. Oh, dear. Creatrix, thanks for the super. Which NPC would I like to see playable? I'm holding out for Jet. Yeah, Jet would be really cool. I think Juliana's another one. Oh, I can't say her name. Well, I'm gonna try though. Zerchong, I think her name is. I know I'm saying that wrong. I can say it if I see it spelled. Chasm Quest Lady. Yes. But I think my opinion on NPCs being playable also depends a little bit on whether or not we can include, you know, characters from like artifact lore and stuff. Because if that's the case, then I wish Niwa was playable. I would like a playable Niwa. Please and thank you. Get at this? Or is it a blue wall sort of situation? It's a blue wall sort of situation. How very rude. You guys realize like there's an absurd number of jellyfish in this game? Because there is an absurd number of jellyfish in this game. Not like real jellyfish, but like jellyfish in the sense of like these are jellyfish shaped. Why? And then like we've got the mechanical jellyfish. We've got Kokomi with a jellyfish. Furina looks like a jellyfish from the back. She looks like a jellyfish. It's cute that she looks like a jellyfish. Oh, YouTube, why do you jump in? They will figure out this problem one day, and I think it involves getting a second monitor, which I don't really want to do because I've already got too much stuff on my desk, but I will do it eventually. We'll see. John Lellis, thank you for the super. I just want to say I appreciate the lore recaps, especially from the 1.3, or sorry, 1.0 to 3.0-ish. I wish Hoyo could handle the lore delivery better through the game, more interactive, and not just by vague pictures and text. Yeah, I think this is one area where they haven't quite figured out a good balance, right? Like, I think with Genshin, they hit a really nice formula in terms of balancing this game. I'm not talking about, like, combat difficulty balance or anything. I just mean, like, balancing in terms of, like, novelty versus exploration versus story versus, you know, like, that kind of thing. I think they found a good balance there, but I think the thing that they struggle with is, again, the fact that they have these really complex and very intricate plot lines. And I can't tell if it's like a Project Cherry sort of thing where they're just okay with people missing stuff. And or if it's like they actually think that the majority of players will go out of their way to hunt certain things down. You know, like I'm still not sure what I think it is at this point. But I guess what annoys me about it, though, is that there's a couple of really easy ways to fix it. I think I've made these suggestions before. But I would really love it if artifacts and weapon sets each came with, like, one still image per thing, right? So if you have one artifact set and it's got 5 artifacts in it, each artifact piece should have one image associated with it, in my opinion, right? I feel like that would really help because pictures are really easy to digest quickly. See here, the jellyfish again. There's so many friggin' jellyfish. Pictures are really easy to digest quickly. And I feel like even if you weren't really into lore, you'd probably take the time to just, like, open up the artifacts just to look at the pictures, right? Like, you'd probably do that. And maybe there would be something in there that would look so cool that you'd be like, oh, well, maybe I'll read a little bit about it, and then you'll read the whole set. And then suddenly you've, you know, gotten a little bit more into the story that they want to tell. And I feel like that's kind of an easy, low-hanging fruit option that they could even retroactively do. You know, like they could just implement that now. But I don't think they will. And I feel like they've kind of taken to this Dark Souls style of lore delivery and been like, yeah, it's fine. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Because, like, Dark Souls is a very niche... it's a very niche experience, right? Like, the people who love Dark Souls love Dark Souls. And the people who love Dark Souls lore love Dark Souls lore. But, like, FromSoft games are pretty, like... I mean, they're pretty niche. Like, the people who love them, love them. And the people who don't love them, you know, don't play them. Like, even Elden Ring, which was a really big success, like, it's still not, like... I wouldn't call it a mainstream game by any stretch. You know? I don't know. Like, Hoyo really wants to have mass appeal because it's a gacha game. They get more out of it that way. So I feel like... this FromSoft thing isn't gonna help them, and I missed my shot. That was my bad. I guess Child's my next sacrifice here. While Dia comes off cooldown. So yeah, like I'm with you there. I do wish they were a little bit more of a show, don't tell. Like, a lot of the exposition's a bit crazy. I remember when I would pick up an RPG and it would be like, it would say estimated playtime is like 35 hours, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a good long RPG. And like, you play a Persona game and it's like 70 to 100 hours, and you're like, oh man, this is so long. And then I sit there and think, wait a second, like, Genshin's not even halfway done, and how many hours is it now? Like, of just cutscenes and not even just gameplay? Like, it's well over that. So I think about that a lot. And I feel like in that period, in the amount of time that they've put into it, like, to have you, like, witness the story, it feels like they should, be giving you a lot more than they are. I still can't figure out if that's like by design and they actually want it that way, or if like they just are so saturated in their own like, yes, like if they're so steeped in their own lore juices that they don't quite realize what people won't know or won't pick up on right away. Does that make sense? Like, I guess take it this way. When Zhongli was released, his constellation was also a series of 3 question marks, just like Nouvellette's, right? The thing is, I don't think there's anything spoilery that 99% of the player base would get from Zhongli's constellation name. So why go through the trouble of, like, blocking it out? You know what I mean? Like, that just tells me that they think people will notice things that they probably won't notice. I guess you could make an argument that, like, because his thing is Lapis Day in English, that people are like, oh man, god, it's just like Carmen Day. He's definitely the Archon. But, like, the patch he's released is the same patch when you figured out he's an Archon. Like, come on. Like, it's, you know, like, they didn't, it's not like they released Child here, right? And then they were like, oh, we're not going to tell you his constellation name because you're not going to find out about it for 2 years when he gets to Fontaine and tells you that he likes whales, right? Like, do you guys see what I'm saying? Like, there's some, I think I'm going around in circles again. Hold on. I'm gonna just, like, warp somewhere else so that I stop going around in circles, because I'm gonna. Oh, this is the blubberfish thingy, or the blubber, I forget the thing, the name. We're not gonna do that right now, though, because I'm just gonna shoot things. Pew, pew! Child should get a bonus underwater for shooting things. Oh, well, that's convenient. Wait, was I over here already? I was over here already. I don't know. Stop. Stop. I'm not good at the dodgy parts. I can't parry. I can't parry. Like, it's just, it's not in my DNA. I can't do it. I feel like if I gaslight the game enough, it'll let me do it. Anyway. Sorry. Oh my. I don't like YouTube's new live chat. I don't know if you guys have this problem. I have this problem where YouTube's live chat does not function for me the way that it's supposed to. And it's gonna drive me crazy. Oh, I think I skipped one. The heck? Did I skip some supers? I'm sorry. Hold on. Hold on a second. I need to scroll back a little bit because I think something funky happened. Yup. Something funky happened. Thanks, YouTube. I've skipped some people. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back a little bit because yeah, I those did not show up. Those did not show up. Mystery Manalism. I don't know how else is supposed to say that, but thank you for your super. It says currently catching up on exploration. Only got to the 3 most recent deserts to go. Wanted to ask, do you get 100% exploration for every map segment? And have you seen Stupendiums, A Summary in Sumeru? I think you're talking about that one musical number, right? With like the wizard dude. Yeah, I've seen that. It's pretty great. Thing's pretty great. Yes, I do go for 100% explorations. As you can see, I have 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. I admit one part that helps with this is that usually I'm just bumming around on stream getting like the 100% bits. But I do have this whole map in 100% except for Fontaine right now because I was trying to leave a bunch of stuff to do for stream. So yeah. No, not lizard dude. Wizard dude. Wizard. He's a wizard. The guy dresses up like a wizard and then he sings a song. Why does it have a chest icon? Did I miss a chest? What happened? Miss it. What? Why did the chest icon go away? Come back. I don't know what happened. I lost my chest. That'd be kind of funny if you could just lose your boobs like that, though. That would be really funny. Like detachables. I just lost them. Oh, yeah, okay. There was one. I did lose one. Look at that. Oh, the otter got him for me. Well, thank you, Mr. Otter. I appreciate you. You're a little cutie. Look at the cutie patootie. Okay, we're going. Wow. Is this bothering anyone else? No, just me. Awesome. We might go above ground for a bit. I'm gonna fight this guy, and by fight this guy, I mean I'm probably gonna go AFK and then just let Dia clam him to death. Because I still don't know how to parry. I think the last time I fought one of these, it literally took me 20 minutes. Because I can't parry. I'm like literally useless. If I parry, it's entirely on accident. I just like shoot their underbellies until they die. Like that. No, we're just gonna let Dia clam him to death. That's all. Okay. That's all that's gonna happen here. I know I'm supposed to parry that thing, but I cannot get the timing right. Oh, you're supposed to let it hit you while you're holding the skill and then hit him back? Oh! It's not a parry? What? What? I don't appreciate this lack of knowledge. What? Okay. All right. Well, it's clam time, so we're gonna let that happen. Citron, thank you for your super chat. Any idea what kind of deity Furina is? Venti is a wisp, Zhongli's a dragon, Qilin. People have talked about what kind of yokai Raidens are. Is Furina a nymph or is she another type of water creature? I think there are 2 schools of thought on Furina. I honestly think she might be more closely related to Oceanids. If I'm completely honest. Like, I know that's kind of a boring answer. But the way I see it, currently we haven't really had any Archons who aren't the original Archon. Oh. So if Furina was an Archon who's like not the original Archon, she would be the very first. And the thing is we've had Venti who's pretending to not be, but then he's like, oh hey, I'm secretly, and then there's Zhongli who's like, oh god, this guy keeps absorbing my blows. We're gonna. And then we have Zhongli who's like kind of faked his own death. But he's still the original Archon. And then we've got the twins who's like one twin died, but like the other identical twin took over. And then Nahida, it's like, well, we've got a clone situation where like Rugudavato's like, well, I'll just make a clone of myself. Right? So what is Furina in that case? Well, if we know that... Oops. If we know that Oceanids can basically regress backwards by losing fragments of themselves, then it's not far-fetched to assume that, like, maybe Agaria left behind a fragment of herself. And that's what Furina is. But because she's not complete, because most of her died in the Archon War, or not in the Archon War, I'm sorry, in the Cataclysm, then she probably doesn't know what prophecy she was talking about initially, right? Like, she doesn't know what Agaria meant. And she's doing her, like, she's missing pieces of herself. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. And that's I'm not saying she is, like, an Oceanid. I just think she's more like Oceanids than we think. There's some lore that suggests that... These guys just all heal? Was I imagining that? That was weird. There's some lore that suggests that the Oceanids were born from Agaria's tears. But then there's also the same source that says, oh no, that's actually technically bunk, and Oceanids existed long before Agaria did. And I was like, well, doesn't that just mean that Agaria might have been one of the original Oceanids? And then just split off into other Oceanids, right? Like, do you see what I'm saying here? We've got a lot of patterns of many little things becoming one big thing, and one big thing becoming many little things. Like, take a look at Elenis, right? Like, Elenis was one big thing that became a lot of little things. And you could say the same thing with, like, the Simurgh and the Peri, right? And I'm going to make an argument that I think that's also what the Seelies were. I think the Seelies were very similar. I think they all might have been one big thing at one point that was split into lots of little things. Istaroth looks like she was probably one big thing that got split into a lot of little things, if Venti's anything to go by. I don't know, like there's a distinct pattern, right? There's a pattern. And that's where my current thoughts are. Oh, we were already here, but now we can open this. So that's cool. We're gonna open all of them because we can. Hi, big crab dude. Bye, big crab dude. Whoop. Ooh. Treasure. Nom 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 nom. Ooh. Bam! If I take damage, it's fine. You know why? Because we know how to heal. Thea has self-healing capabilities. She is immortal! Actually, this one might not be, because I don't think she's actually built for that right now. Boom! I think I had an attack set for Clam and not an HP set, so she's probably not healing as much as she could be. Hold on. Let me go catch up a little bit. Silly, thanks for the super chat. Is there any possibility that Marianne could be Marionette? Oh, you mean like Sandrone? Is this Sandrone or Sandrone? I don't even know. I feel like I've talked to 4 different people and gotten 4 different answers. What else is new? I mean, I don't think it's completely impossible. I think it's a little improbable, though. I think it's a little improbable because, well, I mean, Marianne basically died in that incident, and then she appears to have been absorbed by Lyris and then spat out again as a little baby Oceanid. Now it's completely unclear whether or not you could recover parts of her and then like put her back together again into some sort of new puppet body kind of thing. Like I'm sure that could be a thing. I'm sure that could be a thing. I'm just not sure that that's Marianne's role, because like she was never, how do I put this? She was never particularly good at any of the mechanical things or the sciencey things. She just visited her siblings, you know, her adopted orphan siblings at these institutes. She was more of a combat thing. So like I would be kind of surprised if I would be kind of surprised if... Oh, I gotta go get the block thingies. What was I doing? I'd be very surprised if she ended up, like, becoming a Fatui Harbinger after that. Because, like, it doesn't quite seem... Oh, I'm supposed to go in order. Right, okay, hold on. I wasn't paying attention to the order, though. What was the order? 1... Okay, I see it. Yeah, I mean, the TLDR is like, I think it's possible. I think it's just a little improbable. I think Marianne's gonna stay as a ongoing world quest NPC. I don't think we're actually gonna get her in as a Harbinger. I could be wrong. Been wrong before. I'm wrong all the time, actually. So that's not... it's not actually all that unusual. By the way, come here. We're gonna commit some moida. Gonna commit some moida. Some mass grabbing moida. Yeah. Give me those sweet, sweet pearly whirlies. I do not know how important these pearls are gonna be for upcoming characters. I just feel like I may as well stock up, because I remember what happened with the fungal spore things in Sumeru. So I'm gonna like preemptively prevent that from happening to me again. Because I thought I had a ton, and then turns out I did not have a ton. I needed so many more. Lunix, thank you for the super. I appreciate that. I'm very interested to explore the relationship between Nouvelette and Furina. He always gets so frustrated with her. It almost gives me the same vibes as Apep and Nahida. Yeah, it kind of does. That's one of the reasons why I'm sort of leaning into the idea that they kind of have like a father-daughter relationship, but like an estranged father-daughter relationship. That is part of the reason why I think that... Whoa. Okay. These don't have to be activated in any order, do they? Oh, there's no one left. I got them all. Hey, it makes a fish! That's cute. Where's my chest? What? Where's my chest? Give me prizes! Oh. Wah! Yeah, so that's kind of the reason why I'm a little on the nose about the father-daughter thing. However, like I just said, there is that whole thing where I said, like, I think Agaria and Nouvelette probably had a very, very close, potentially intimate relationship. Like, that's sort of a vibe that I get there as well. Oh, hey, look, there's another, oh, we're back here again. Oh. We're gonna come back here and prove that I'm actually quite dumb. That's fine. You. Convenient! Well, I guess we have to use you. I was gonna use somebody else, but I guess I can't. I got distracted. What was I saying? Oh, right. Nouvelette and Agaria, I thought, had a pretty intimate relationship. That's right. That's what I was saying. Oh, it's you again. My nemesis!
Mind the side effects. Squall and fury.
If that's the case, then, I mean, like, I could see an argument to be made for Furina is also Agaria, but then also not. And so then you're kind of raising, like, the child version of someone you used to know quite well. In, all of the euphemistic versions of that phrase as well. I don't know. That's kind of how it feels to me. But it also kind of makes me feel like, that implies, like, how do I put this? That Nouvelette older than Furina. But we already know that she's older than 500. You know? So it's an interesting dilemma. I'm gonna light them all up. Gonna get all the pillars wet. Gonna get them all soaking wet. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Give me treasure! Mine.
Take it and have fun.
I will. Reminds me of Jing Yuan and Bailu. Yeah, I see. I get what you mean when you say that. Yeah, I get what you mean. It is kind of a weird thing, no matter how you slice it. Okay, how do you actually get into this thing? How do you go in there? I don't understand. Let me in. Let me in. Oh, there's a switch. I see. Can I hit the switch from here? How come I can't hit the switch? How rude. I bet I can hit the switch with sonar from this guy. Wait, come back here. Why is it this weird little string anyway? Is this Linny's balloon string? Is that what we have? Aha! I'm not an idiot. I'm just a little slow. And I keep hitting the wrong button. So the idiot thing is still up for debate, I guess. Whee! I got it though. No help required. Actually, I don't even know if anyone helped me. I wasn't looking at that. I don't see any more. Spark. No more pretty sparklies. Okay. Leave me alone, you guys. I only have half a brain. Only have half a brain. Okay, well, I've gone in circles for like a really long time. So maybe it's time to kind of like go above water. I think the censorship underwater is hilarious. It's so funny. It's like, it's so funny to me. Left half or right half? No, 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 no. The real question is front half or back half.
The wind rises.
Mine. This is my buoy. My buoy. Yes. Mine. Alright, well, I have no ideas. But, let's head to land, I guess. We'll... Actually, I haven't actually really explored down here all that much. That I have not. Okay, hold on. Chris Snaff, thanks for the super! What are you hoping for in the 3rd anniversary, and what character are you pulling for in 4.x? Okay. I'll answer the second one first because that's easier. I'm pulling for Nouvelette for sure because I want to collect all dragons. Yes. And then I am most likely pulling for Furina unless her kit is absolutely useless to my account, which I don't think it will be. Archons are usually really general purpose. So I will probably pull for him. I'm gonna get Risley on a rerun because I don't really want to spend money, and I've got enough to, well, spend more money than I do. I get BP Welkin. So like, let's see, right now I've got 23, which is enough to go to Petty twice. If I get decently lucky, I should be able to guarantee both Nouvelette and Furina, so I have to wait for Risley on a rerun, I think.
Too slow.
And after that, Navia is one of those ones where I'm like, I might get her, but only if she benefits my Ito team. If she's another DPS unit, I'm gonna have to skip her. Because I just have 0 uses for Geo DPS units right now. Like, Geo needs help in the sense of, like, they really need some supports or, like, some resonance buffs or something. So if Navia ends up being kind of like a Nilu for Geo, that would be really cool, and I would totally pull her then. Beyond that, I'm going for Arlecchino because, like I said, I'm gonna collect all the Harbingers now. That's gonna be my thing. Some people collect Archons, some people collect Electro Waifus. I collect Harbingers. Apparently. Let's see. And if there are any Hexenzirkel members that come up, I will probably shift my plans and grab them. But I think for now, it's really just those 4. And a maybe on Navia, but we'll see. Because, like, I like her character, but, like, I can't justify another Geo DPS. I really can't. I just can't. So if she's anything like Ito, we're gonna have a problem, because Ito is my boy. And I will not betray him. Not even for Taylor Swift. We're 100% getting some Hexenzirkel at some point. I don't know if we're going to get them playable in the next few patches, but we're definitely going to start seeing them. So, I mean, there's that. I think I'm almost out. Goodness. So sorry, you guys. I got so behind and I don't know what happened. YouTube chat's been so finicky lately. But Cass, thank you very much for your super. You said, Melazine said that Furina is very kind and sweet to them, and they find it odd how she acts with humans. Aside from the flustered moments and the crying, she's just a nice person and cares a lot. Yeah, I think that's kind of her problem. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have heard the theory that... It's not really a theory. I mean, Hoyo confirmed it. Should I call it that? I guess I shouldn't call it that. I guess you guys have heard then that the artifact sets are based off of tarot cards, right? But more specifically, they're based off of suits. The tarot suits. I've got 4 of these. I can get some stuff. I want these. There. Okay. I've still got more of these to find. And I will. We'll find them. Eventually. Eventually. So you know how the artifacts are... No, Dia, I need you to show off your gear. Alright. So we've got flower, feather, clock, cup, crown. Yeah? There are 4 suits in the tarot, and they also do correspond with regular playing cards as well. So we've got flowers, which in the tarot would be the rods or the wands. We've got the feather, which would be the swords. We've got the clock, which would be the pentacle or the coin, depending on what you work with. And then you've got the cup, which is the cup. Now, each of these also has an element associated with them. The flower of life here would be fire. The sword would be wind, or the feather here would be wind. The clock would be earth, and then the cup would be water. And the water suit represents emotions. So you'll see that Fontaine has a lot of emphasis on purity and emotions and tears, like your strongest emotions, all that kind of stuff, right? So I really feel like Furina's character is very heavily emphasized by the fact that she's just very emotional. And I would say she might even be very empathetic to the point where it might even be toxic to her. Because if she's at all like an Oceanid, right, then she's going to be very susceptible to having smaller, weaker minds infiltrate her. And even if, like, they don't infiltrate her necessarily, what could happen is she could be very heavily influenced by others' emotions just by being in close proximity. So her dominating situations or attempting to might be just like a method of protecting herself. That's also something you commonly see in several of the cards. Emotional damage, yeah. I mean, yeah. So I actually think she's gonna be a real sweetheart who kind of like is basically playing a character very much like Fischl, right? Like she feels very Fischl-like, and I don't think that's superficial. I think that's a very intentional thing. I think a lot of her story and a lot of her traits has actually been kind of foreshadowed in Amy's stories and traits. Not necessarily Princess Fischl, but like, you know, our character Fischl, the one that we get to play in game. I think Princess Fischl's slightly different. But yeah, so I'm not at all surprised if the Melusines really like her. That would make a lot of sense to me. She probably also feels like one thing I've said a few times is like I don't think Furina understands the concept of justice all that well. I can't go that way. Like I don't think she understands the concept of justice all that well. I think she, for lack of a better term, like I think she's just play acting what she thinks justice is supposed to be without actually understanding what it really means. Like she's like, oh, I'm supposed to judge people about whether they're guilty or innocent, but that's not actually what justice is, right? Like justice isn't actually a very complex subject. If you try to define justice, you're gonna have a really hard time getting something concrete. Like you just are. It's like have you ever asked a lawyer to define justice? Like, oh my god, good luck. It's hard. It's very hard. No. I'll be X. Oh, that one. I hit the wrong button. It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. Silly, silly god. What's a why does Furina call herself Focalors? Because she is Focalor. It's just her demon name. And I'm really convinced that demon names are just titles at this point that they keep. Like conceptual.
No time to lose.
Can I move you? I can't move you. So the question is, what can I do? Can I move you? Yes. I can move you. Probably to here. Did I hear Furina crying under the fountain? I can tell who has and who hasn't watched the latest video. I can just tell. You wouldn't ask me that if you watched it. Am I guilt tripping? Yeah, a little bit. I worked really hard on that. It was very difficult, and it's officially my longest video on this channel ever. Ever. How far can I go with this one? Oh, I can put it like right here. Yeah. Mine!
Not bad. Not bad at all.
I just realized there was something I wanted to do and I forgot, and I hope that wasn't the last one. It probably was. I bet that was the last one. I think I've done all of these. Shoot. I wanted to do something and I forgot. Okay, well that's an argument for... Oh, no, there's one! Okay, I can't do this one. I have to keep this one. Hang on, we need to look at something lore-wise here for a second because, I was pointed out, like something was pointed out to me and I need to see if this is actually true. Really quick. And I don't see it. Was it in the actual heart? I can't remember. Maybe it was. If it was, then I'd have to do this quest over again. It doesn't look like it's in these. That's unfortunate. Someone was saying you could see like a world inside of these.
No time to lose.
But I think that might have been like just in the normal heart and not in these little little cysts. Not in the little cysts. You guys are wondering why I'm doing this with charge shot? It's literally because I can't do it with anything else. I've tried. It's in the actual heart? Yeah, okay, then we can't see it. I would have to go do this whole quest with my EU account. And that sounds like pain and suffering. My EU account hasn't even done Inazuma, okay. So I don't wanna. Pew! Okay, got it. Give me all your treasure.
Not bad.
Ah, hi. Hi, Stanley. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Listen, my Dia is built on Clam, okay? Ignore her damage. She's built so we don't die underwater. She's not actually built to do anything else right now.
Brace yourself.
Okay.
This is gonna hurt. That's far enough.
Ellie, leave me
Follow
alone.
me. The wind rises.
My child needs so much work. I don't want to. I will one day. I will one day. Do I think there might be a connection between the things like truth-seeing, melazine, the madness caused by forbidden knowledge, Nahida's mention of waking sleepwalkers, and Harbinger taking the mask off? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, all those things are connected. If there's one thing I'm pretty confident in, it's that Hoyo has at least one very coherent and consistent idea that they want to adhere to for this game. I think it's much less so the case for them when it comes to Honkai games. But when it comes to Genshin, they are very, very deliberate in everything they do. And I mean everything. So I would not be surprised. But yeah, I do think there's a connection. I think it'll be obvious once they give us like this one missing piece. And then until then, I don't think anyone's gonna guess it. No matter how much they look for it. That's my current prediction. What if Zhongli, instead of being one of the Descenders, he's a shade? Yeah, I mean, that's possible. That's possible. I want to just say, though, we just learned to... No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Never mind. What I'll say is I think all of the shades are female. How's that? I think all of the shades are female. And there is that whole rumor that Zhongli took the shape of a lady once. I'm not convinced that's real necessarily. Like, it's not like his I'm not convinced that that's his how do I put this? Original form. It's not that I'm doubting he never took the shape of a woman. I don't think that's his natural state. And I do think that all of the shades are female. That's what I'll say. Yeah. Sarah, thanks for the super. She says, I'm a bit confused about the history of Fontaine. Is Remuria the same with Capitolium? And who do you think the God King was before Remus? Remus was the first God King there. Before then, I think it should have been the Hydro Sovereign. Remuria is not really my thing right now either. I'm still kind of trying to get my head around it as well. But as far as the timeline of Teyvat goes, Remuria is pretty young. Like, Remuria came into being around the fall of Gurabad, which means that all of Deshret's nonsense happened before Remuria was even a thing. So if I'm even remotely accurate in trying to pinpoint the events of Gurabad as taking place around the time of the Archon War, that means Remuria was founded during the Archon War, which would be kind of strange. So I'm not entirely sure, to be frank. But I think Capitolium... Was Capitolium the capital city? I'm pretty sure it was. I could be wrong on that too. But again, I'm not super well read on Remuria yet, which is one of the reasons why I didn't cover it in the last video I made, is because I kind of want to do a little bit more digging on it, but I kind of feel like by the time I get to all of the digging, we're probably gonna end up in 4.1. And at that point, I may as well just wait for new lore, because we're bound to get some. And I'll be a little bit more prepared to answer that, I think. What's with Gold and her obsession with dragons? Thank you, Kwang, for your super, by the way. I would love to answer that, except that is literally the script I'm working on right now. The finale for Project Teyvat will answer that question for you, most likely. Most likely that question will be answered for you in this one video. I mean, I actually, I've kind of already pointed out what I think already, actually, in a couple of instances. I just think that humans are far more closely connected to dragons than we've been led to believe. Way more closely connected. But if you want the boring non-theory answer, it's probably more to do with the fact that Gold is probably just more interested in trying to resurrect old species, like primordial species, than anything else. And dragons are some of the oldest types of
Take it and
beings
have fun.
in this world. So why not try to resurrect those? Makes sense to me. Let's go somewhere else. I want to wander around this island. Da-da-dun-da-dun-dun-dun-dun. Cass, thanks again for the super. If all the shades are female, then that makes Paimon even more suspicious since she has a lot of space theme. I think that just means theming. I don't think the space is meant to be there. With the space cape, but also tying with how she's basically our clock, so she's a shade. I think this is why we say that Paimon might be the primordial one in a lot of cases. Like that, I think that's why that theory is so prevalent. It's literally because she has space-time powers, and we know space and time are two of the things. So the powers are basically space, time, life, and death. Those are the 4 shades. That much I can say with confidence. Child, you need so much more like personal damage. Oh, you know what I could do that would help him out a lot? I could put him on this for a while. You can borrow official spell for a bit. That should help him. That should help him. They're 100% light, death, space and time. And the thing is you can't really have life without death, and you can't really have space without time, and vice versa, right? So like you're basically looking at 2 pairs of shades. So if we look at Paimon, she has space and time powers currently, but she doesn't have life or death powers, which makes you wonder if there's another Paimon out there that has life and death powers. I think about that a lot. That's kind of my opinion on the shades, though. I can't say anything else on that topic at the moment. I just can't. For reasons. Comessa, thanks again for another super chat. My goodness, thank you so much. Out of all the Archons and dragons we've met who are suffering, Nouvelette and Furina are the first we've seen since Dvalin to literally weep from it. Could that mean they're suffering the most, or are they just the worst at hiding it? I think a lot of the Genshin has an ongoing theme of dealing with grief. So, I don't know if you were playing during Windbloom, the first Windbloom, but there was this one scene with Venti that you can get at the end of the festival where it just becomes really obvious that he's so not over the deaths that he's experienced, and that he's not this happy-go-lucky, carefree kind of guy at all. He's actually like extremely depressed. And it's just one of those things that makes you go, oh, everyone's hurting. Like everyone's suffering. And everyone's dealing with grief in their own way, you know? Like Venti goes out and he drinks and he parties and he pretends everything's fine. And Zhongli's like, well, I mean, I'll reminisce. I'll try and build a new life for myself, and I'll try to honor my friends' memories by basically putting myself in a perpetual state of mourning. And then you have A, who basically was like, I can't deal with grief. I'm going to lock myself away so no one will ever see me. Like she just locks herself in her room so that no one will ever, you know, like she avoids the problem. She just shuts down. And then you have Nahida, who basically went the path of overwork, and she wasn't necessarily grieving in the same way because she didn't know anything. But I would say that Furina's the type to kind of put on a strong front and pretend things are fine. Oh, I think this one needs to come with me too. So I would just look at these all as sort of all of these immortals dealing with loss and tragedy and death and coming to terms with all of the things that they've been through. And knowing that there's no end in sight because they're all friggin' immortal. Like, you just have to deal with this shit forever.
Quit following me.
Where are these things going? Just follow the floating water lamps. This feels so haunted for some reason. So, can I have my test? Can I? Give me my boobies!
Unnecessary.
Exquisite.
Quit following me.
Whee! Bum. Give to me. Up. I'm gonna have so many pearls. They don't really look like pearls though. Oh, you have a follow-up question. Oh goodness, thank you for the next super. Wait, when did the original Hydro Dragon die? He could conceivably be older depending on when he was reincarnated, right? Anywhere from 100s to 1000s. Yeah, we don't know Nouvelette's age. However, we know that he's several hundred years old, and he's at least 500 years old. No, I'm sorry. He's at least 400 years old. That much I can say is with confidence. We also know that he's responsible for bringing the Melazines over here, so my guess is he knew about, well, he obviously knew about Elenis, so he must have been, you know, aware of things 500 years ago. And he also must have been quite familiar with, sorry, I'm gonna butcher this. It takes me so many takes to say it right. The Narstenkreuz Institute children. He must have been pretty familiar with them and what was happening with them.
Quit following me.
Because he was also responsible for bringing the Melazines to the city.
Too slow.
Oh, hello.
You can run, but you can't hide. You're mine.
Your damage still isn't much better, Tartags. What the hell? Is that just because it's a whopper flower? Maybe I just have too high expectations for him.
Let's get it on.
Behold.
Or weirdly well.
You even want this?
But yeah, he should be several hundred years old at the very least. Hard to say. It's kind of hard to say about him because we don't know if he's the sovereign or just a dragon. You know what I mean? That's the part that's a little difficult. We need to get... I have a feeling that he is a sovereign. Kind of based on vibes and kind of just based on the fact that, like, they're censoring his constellation. I feel like that's kind of why they're censoring his constellation. Is because he might be a sovereign, or at least at the level of Zhongli, and Zhongli is this big secretive pile of give me information, you shitty old man. I'm sorry, I like him, but like I'm gonna strangle him one day. Because like tell us what you know.
Quit following me.
But I feel like Nouvelette's on the same level, honestly. Really do. Tal deals more damage in more quantity and speed than big numbers unless you count the burst one. Is Sovereign a being or a title? Who knows? That's another good question.
Squall and fury.
That's a very good question that I wish I had an answer to. And I don't. Do we think Arlecchino could be the result of the Narcissus and Kreutz experiments with their black hands? Potentially. I think I know what you've seen, and potentially. I think it's a little hard to say. I actually have a theory that should come out next week. Well, no, it'll come out next week. It'll come out next week. I think. I don't want to pressure my editor. They do a really good job, and I like to let them move at whatever speed they want to. It's just, it seems like they're on track for us to release the video this coming week. So I'm saying that. But, so should. I'm putting the caveat of should there. And it is on a really bizarre take on the Nartz and Kreutz Institute stuff and how it relates to the Fatui. So I think you'll really like that. I think you'll really like that theory. It's quite entertaining, if nothing else. My editor was like, "What is happening?" half the time that they were working on it. And that's the kind of reaction I want. When even your editor looks at you and goes, "What the hell?" You're kind of like, you're like, "Yes, I have done it. I have crafted the massive amounts of excellent crack that I aspire to make."
The wind rises.
Yeah.
Search for it.
I think the rest of the videos for 4.0 will be, I want to do one on philosophers. Because I'm starting to see a pattern that's like, it's too much to ignore anymore, and now I have to do something with it. Oh, there's a chest.
Take it and have fun.
I will! I love that he wants me to have fun. He's such a little sweetie. And then they went and released all of this merchandise for him, like official merchandise this week. Like 2 sets of it, and I'm so upset. Like, I don't know if I can actually buy it. Not due to lack of cash, just because I don't know how. Or even if they'll ship to the US. But yeah. Pursue Aristotle. Yeah. Well, it's gonna be more than just Aristotle, all right? It's gonna be way more than Aristotle. We're gonna have some fun. There's a couple of things about the Nartz and Kreutz kids that I did not put into the recap video that I made, and I did that deliberately so that I could put it into this theory video instead. I'm still mad about it, actually. I'm actually still legitimately angry about it. Hoyoverse and their puns. Aristotle is Alistotle. Oh, man. Actually, Aristotle and Plato and Socrates, the 3 of them actually have quite a bit in common with Deshret, Goddess of Flowers, Alhaitham, Kaveh, Rukkhadevata, and Nahida. Shockingly enough. If I had to pick some philosophers for it. I'm going to make a couple of my Discord moderators mad about that, though. I'm sorry, Miso Man, but it's true. You can deny it all you want, but it's true. And he knows it. He's just in denial. He's like, no, it's too simplistic. I'm like, it's a video game. We're allowed to be simplistic. He's like, no. And I'm like, yes. And then the conversation goes on for like an hour, and then we get nowhere. So now we just make him mad. I want to sit at the pirate table. Hello, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. I'm too young to drink. Hello, my pirate crew. My little ghostly crew. Tonight, we ride! Inside my head. Let's go somewhere else. We've been over here and over here. I guess we'll wander around up here today. We'll wander around at the speed of sound. Scaramouche is super fast, yeah! Ilya, thanks for the super! Do you think we'll see more of Lisa again? I'm really mixed on that one. Like, I was really convinced going into Sumeru they were actually going to do something with Lisa there. And then they didn't, and I'm kind of confused about it. Like, I don't really think her skin counts too much, because, like, yes, it's a skin, but it was from a limited event. So, okay. I think at this point, the only way we're gonna get more Lisa lore outside of, like, little inconsequential events like the one that she's been in already, the only way I think we're actually gonna get anything out of her is if we have her interact with the Hexen Circle. Legitimately, I think that's, like, the only thing. Unless they start to release more story quests for her, which I really hope they do. Continue that. For the 4 stars that have story quests, I would really like them to get part 2s. Yoimiya has gotten a part 2 story quest now, so we know getting part 2s is actually going to be a thing. Just a matter of, is it going to be limited to only certain characters or not?
Too slow.
But I really think that the only way we're going to see her is either in another story quest where we learn more about the Pale Princess and the 6 Pygmy books. Because it's been forever. I want to go to the block. I want to go to the cubes. It's been forever. Or if we get Hexens or that's like those are the only 2 instances where I could see anything happening with Lisa. Because, oh, it's you. Hold on.
Quit following me.
I was looking for her the other day and I didn't know where she was. Hang on. Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Solidify.
Truth repeats its course. Break a leg.
Squall Fury.
Hold that thought. Ow. Whoops.
Upon the gale.
I missed my dodge.
Gather. This is order.
I missed my dodge. And now I have no energy. Give.
Tears of the storm. Your grand finale.
The wind rises.
No.
Observe.
Ow.
Emergency countermeasures aren't my...
Have fun with this gift. Unleash.
This team is not optimized for the record.
You're dead.
Oh dear. Vivian hits harder than Ninian. Am I imagining that when I say that? She feels like she hits way harder than Ninian. Okay. It's fine. Ninian wasn't really hard. I want to mark her down on the map. There. Now I'm happy. I want to heal them, and I don't want... Well, actually... I want to heal. Sorry. Elisa could get a hangout too. You're right. Because Kaya has both a story quest and a hangout now, so you're right. Yeah, that is a distinct possibility. I forgot about that. I'm still slowly going through the hangouts. I just did Farzan's. I gotta do Layla's next, and then I'll do Kave's and then Kaya's. I'm doing them in order. Yeah, I still haven't done Kaya's. Don't at me. I've seen so many people post pictures and analyses and stuff from them that I'm kind of like, I feel like I've done parts of it, but I haven't. But I think that's okay, because hangouts don't expire. And they're also usually not very lore heavy, so I don't feel too pressured to dig into them. I'm usually okay. I did Ninian without taking damage. Vivian has a different attack pattern. I was not expecting that. Oh, hello. Where did you come from? This is such a cute place. This is like basically the poor man's version of Marianne's house. Poor Marianne's. I'll steal your flower. Wait, hold on. Starfan6299, thanks for the super. Any thoughts on the Teyvat moon having the same surface as the Earth's moon? Yeah, Tevat's on Earth.
You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like
I'm not
it is.
joking when I say that. Like, I
Someone can't
legitimately
handle it.
think that.
Maybe that's their problem.
My rationale for this is that
Squall and Fury.
Honkai Impact actually takes place on Earth. Like, regular Earth. Like, it's an alternate universe for Earth, but it's still, like, this Earth, right? Like, and no matter how you slice it, this game and Honkai are connected, and you can debate how they're connected however you like, but in my opinion, I think Teyvat is just another alternate version of Earth, like actual Earth. That's why the moon has Earth-moon surfaces. Either that, or Teyvat is actually a completely different planet where they're trying to make people think they're actually on Earth, and that's why it looks there's only one moon in the sky, and it's like Earth's moon. But then the actual 3 moons that were in the sky would be like 3 moons on a different planet. That's a possibility too. But I stand by what I said. You sir, blah, 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 blah.
Shouldn't let your guard
Smack. Wow. Did you just miss like an 80% crit rate on your burst? Seriously? Oh no, I'm at 68. Never mind. That's okay. I'm not as upset about that. Never mind. Reverie's End. Where are you standing at the Genesis Pearl lore? Like the Shinro casket back in 3.8 is so suspicious, don't you think? I don't think it's that suspicious. I think the Genesis Pearl is the pearl of the Dragon King. Because you know how Chinese dragons have pearls? Well, actually, most Asian dragons have. Oh, it's you.
Let's get it on!
A bitter pill to swallow. Behold.
This is hard to see.
Upon the gale.
I am meant to dodge in open air, not in tiny spaces. But yeah, I think it's actually the pearl of the, maybe it's the pearl of the Dragon King, who knows? That is what I think so. Sarah, thanks for the super. What do I think about Teyvat is actually Pangaea or Pagana? Pagana? I'm not super familiar with Pagana, so I can't comment on that. I feel like somebody else wrote about this recently, though. I have seen that phrase recently, but I don't actually know much about it, so I can't comment at all.
Too slow.
I don't know anything about it. Is Syndrona even gonna show up in Fontaine? I don't think so.
fury.
I don't think she will. I don't think she will. If I had to rank the Harbingers that I think will show up in Fontaine, besides the obvious two, which are Arlecchino and Child, obviously, 'cause we know they're here, right? Like those two are the ones that are obvious. So besides them, I think the next three Harbingers that I think are most likely to show up in Fontaine are Dottore, Pantalone, or Pantalone. I don't know which one it is. I don't know if the E is pronounced. Okay, leave me alone, resident Italians. Leave my pants alone. Or Syndrome. In that order, though. It is pronounced. You're right. It is pronounced. I'm doing good. I am Englishing up a storm down here. So much Englishing. Pintaloni.
Following me.
Has no one else noticed that these ships are basically whales?
Fury.
I mean, I guess they're not really whales. They've got a dorsal fin. Does that make them orca? Does that make them killer whales? Yeah, these are orcas, though, right? They must be. No, I discovered... No, I didn't mean it like that. There's just been a lot of talk about Child's whale vision thing lately. And the fact that one of my friends pointed out that the Hebrew word for whale is the same as the one for Leviathan. Like, they don't have another word for it. And since we've got a lot of Leviathan mentions in Fontaine so far, especially in regards to Nouvelette, and Nouvelette was the one to, like, basically one-shot Child, I just think it's kind of funny that Child's kind of obsessed with this whale that made him unable to breathe. Right? You see what I'm talking about? So, like, when I see these, I'm not, like, saying, like, did anyone notice this is a whale? Haha, obviously, this shape is so ambiguous. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, did anyone notice that they're like, referencing whales over and over and over again? And not just, like, in the story text, but, like, in the actual lore. Oh, there's a Hydroculus over here? Where? So I'm not being facetious. I'm just, you know, I'm just being incomplete with my thought process. Yeah. Corey Yuri, thank you for the super. Have I heard about the evil dragon ruling Teyvat? Search bad dragon on Google for... I am not doing that. You will not get me to do that. I know what bad dragon is. I'm the one who taught my 16-year-old cousin that, and now she's the cool kid at school. I'm not even kidding. Okay, if any of you are in public spaces, do not Google that. Wait until you are in a private location, please. You'll thank me. You'll thank me for telling you to wait to a private location. You won't thank me for telling you to, you know, look it up. Oh, I can just sit here. Okay. Well, I'm going to convey slaughter on the seals. Because I can. And because I want their pearls. I don't know what kind of seals have pearls in them, but these ones do. And now the pearls are mine! Alright. Let's see. There's a conch. Hello, one. Okay, we're in the water. We're in the water. We're in the water. Okay, I see. Diggy diggy. Diggy diggy. I found you. You were buried in the dirt and I saved you. Therefore, you will pledge your loyalty to me for saving your life. Come back here, little demon. Damn it. Jar? Ooh, handy.
Too slow.
Less handy. You, sir, spooked me.
Quit following me.
I would like to dig for more series, please. Oh, I don't want to go up there yet. We'll go up in a minute.
Squall and fury.
Sometimes auto-aim is not my friend.
Too slow.
But usually his auto-aim is really good.
Be rolled. Quit following me.
Okay, we'll follow Tartag. It's fine. Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Up! Uppies! Downsies! Alrighties! Give me all your lovin', all your little monies too. Thanks. Yoink. What do I think about Femine lore? I honestly have not. I skimmed it during preload, but then so much more went into my brain that I didn't retain much of it. I should reread it though. Thank you for the reminder. I will reread it too. Spike Bebop, thank you for the super chat. Am I hoping to see more than one Harbinger in the 4.1 Archon quest? Yes, but I'm not hopeful. I'm not hopeful. I'm really not. I don't think we're gonna get another Harbinger in 4.1. We might get one in 4.2. That might be a thing. I don't think we're gonna get one in 4.1 though. It's a vibe. A vibe check. Right now it's just a vibe check. There's a suspicious setup going on where I can see an intro opportunity for another Harbinger to come in for the Fontaine arc. I just don't think they're gonna be in 4.1. Does that make sense? I just don't think they're going to be in 4.1. Like, they could definitely be here, just not in 4.1. See, I would use Child here. But that seems like such a bad plan, because he can't actually hurt them. I think it's funny that the strongest creatures in Fontaine are creatures that Tartaglia can't fight. Well, I guess he could foul legacy them, but I think it's kind of funny. Kind of just a big fuck you. When the hell are we gonna meet other Harbingers? Are we gonna like, yeah, I know what you mean. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, Paimon. Physical child, yeah, right. What was I gonna say? I forgot. I forgot. I lost my train of... Oh. When are we going to meet the other Harbingers? Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that myself because, like, we've met 5, right? Is that right? Because we've met... Okay, we've done Scaramouche Child. We're going to do Arlecchino. I've done Dottore and Signora. Oh my god, she's dead and I forgot all about her. Rest in pieces.
Quit following me. Behold.
So we've done 5 that we've actually met. And, like, yeah, we've seen them all except for one of them. Because I am more convinced than ever that Hero is number 0 now. So we've seen one of them. We haven't seen one of them. Like, we just haven't seen them at all. And then that leaves us with, like, 6 plus... Okay. 6 more Harbingers. No. 5 more Harbingers that we've seen, plus 1 for Piero, who's gonna be the director, and I think number 0. Plus 1 that we're just straight up missing. That we've never seen before. Okay. And we have basically like 2.5 nations to do that in. And I'm like, really? Really? Feels like we're kind of squeezing a lot in at the end there, aren't we? Okay, I don't know where the little... Oh, it's in the bush. You sneaky bastards. Mine. Smickety smackety. I do not appreciate this ambush.
Let's get it on.
You jerks.
Riptide. You're mine.
Dum dum dum.
The wind rises.
I'm sorry. I don't. Whee!
Take it and have fun.
Oh, I should open some of these as a child. I don't actually know what he says when he opens these. Oh, I should do that. Okay. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do that. Didn't Hoyu announce that Teyvat will be completed in 5 years? If so, there are too many Harbingers still. I don't think that the years thing is accurate. But they did list the complete roadmap for the Teyvat story. And we've got Fontaine here, right? Like, we're in Fontaine. That means we've got Natlan, Snezhnaya, and Conria left. That's it. We've got 3 nations after this one. So we're gonna end up with getting like 2 Harbingers per nation at some point. Or there's just gonna be some Harbingers that we never do anything with, which I think would be a real shame. And I don't really think they'd go that way, actually. The more I think about that, the more I don't think that's actually the case. Yeah, I can still tell who of you have not watched the video because you're asking about salsa. You can't see Pantalone fighting? Yeah, he probably doesn't. Unless he's like Baiju. So I have a theory, all right, about Pantalone. I'm just gonna call him Pants so I can stop thinking about the E, okay? So there's a region that borders Fontaine and is also part of Liyue. And that region is called Chenyu Vale. Okay? Now, Baiju is from Chenyu Vale. And I have this feeling that Pants is connected to Fontaine.
Too slow.
And this is, again, entirely based on vibes, which I will explain here in a second. But the vibes are basically like... If I do this, and then I do this, will it let me do the thing? Yes, it will.
No time to lose.
Oh, it's a salsa thing. No, we're not gonna rearrange it. We're gonna run away. Goodbye. I'll do it later.
No time to lose.
I don't want to raise the elemental monument. You can't make me. Goodbye. This is what it means to be an open world game. No, we'll come back for salsa. We'll come back for salsa. I just want to record it, and I don't feel like setting up the recording stuff right now. Hence why I'm avoiding it. I don't mind doing like the rest of it. I don't care about the rest of it, but like I don't want to miss her like dialogue portion. You know what I mean? I also completely lost my train of thought. Oh right, pants. We're talking about pants. I'm sorry. Pants need pockets. Deep pockets. Money. Okay, so this is based entirely on vibes. But I don't know if you guys have ever watched shows like Peaky Blinders. Or like other Industrial Revolution age shows that kind of have like organized crime. Like organized crime syndicates and stuff. Navia and her whole spiel with Poisson and the Undercity and all that kind of stuff. It just reminds me so much of a mob boss. Like, she's an ethical mob, but she reminds me of a mob boss, right? Like, she feels mafia. But the thing is like, mafias were exploitative, for sure. But a lot of them kind of started being these vigilante groups that would sort of police these areas that were being neglected and kind of protect people, and they would collect money from the civilians, and they were kind of like a, you know, like a unofficial police, kind of. And that's sort of what Navia reminds me of. But then if I start thinking about other tropes in mobs, what immediately comes to mind is money lending. And if I take another look at Mr. Pants over there, he feels very much like a mafia money lender, doesn't he? So my theory here is that he may, like, his similar looks to Baiju might not be because they're necessarily related, but because they might be from the same region of Chenyu Vale. And since it's a border region between Liyue and Fontaine, his distaste for Liyue might be because money. But his practices and vibes and everything else are just very Fontainian because he's from a border town. And see, like, that kind of thing makes me think that that's just kind of what I think of. Pants a loan shark. Yeah, like a loan shark. Loan shark. Yeah, exactly. So those are my Harbinger picks, and why I say those Harbinger picks in particular. The Liyue patch for CN New Year is coming. I mean, we should get Chenyu Vale at some point, right? Like, they can't keep it from us forever. I guess they could. I hope they don't. Maybe it'll go the way of Dornman Port and Mondstadt, and we'll just never get it. It'll just forever be this one place that exists that we never see. I'll be very upset if that's the case. I think I missed a lot of them. Oh well. I want all of the roses. Goodbye, little slime. I don't care about you. The slime is unimportant. I'm sorry, Paimon, but we will not sugar your slime. That sounds wrong when I say For French regions, there's lots of British lore. It's not just British. Like there's Italian, there's
There's no
French,
such
there's
thing as pure
British,
freedom in
there's
this world.
American.
Even a
There's a
wing can
lot
not
of
go on
American,
forever.
like North American. I think it's more that Fontaine isn't necessarily France, but I think it's supposed to represent the industrialization of what China would consider the Western world. Does that make sense? So to me, they're kind of lumping a lot of Europe and North America to kind of together because they were all kind of like that one thing, right? But yeah, Fontaine is more like a century rather than a location. Something like that, yeah. Because like Eastinghouse, for example, over at the Research Institute for Kinetic Engineering
You think I've got a sharp tongue?
and research and that kind of
I
stuff,
just tell it like it is.
that
If someone
is
can't handle it,
American lore. That
maybe
thing's
that's
in
their
Philadelphia.
problem.
Like you see this stuff over here. This is where I think the research center is. By the way, I think it's those blocks. This is the Westinghouse
Relax.
facility is a Philadelphia company. So, yeah. Anyway. It's very difficult to just sit here and say like, oh, this is just French lore. Well, no. The reason why it's like focused a little bit more on France is because France was kind of the center of a lot of economic and philosophical and political development during that time period. Like it was such a huge hub. So many important things went down in France in this time period. And I feel like it's something that if you're not from the region, you probably don't know. Like, I don't know about you guys, I was not taught this in school. Like, we learn about the American Industrial Revolution, like Henry Ford and shit. We don't learn about any sort of the European side of things. Getting New Orleans with the rising sea levels and French aesthetic too. Yeah, I mean, New Orleans is a very big French hub too. So, I don't know why I keep going in circles. Like this is like my thing apparently, to just run in literal circles, and I don't understand why I do that. I have resin to burn. Pittsburgh, not Philly. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. That's my bad. That's Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. I know my geography. What do we want to go with? I need to burn some resin. I have a lot of wander routines right now. Let's use Alhaitham. I haven't done him in a while. Liwa isn't just China. Inazuma isn't just Japan, and I think people missed a lot of that. Yeah, I think that's true. Well, I mean, like, I 100% agree with you. I think it's more like, when we go to these places, what we perceive as the influence is, like, the biggest, most, how do I put this? I think because a lot of the smaller influences, or even like just the lesser known ones, they're just not known, right? Like for example, let's take a really obvious one in Sumeru, right? Like it was heavily Persian influence, and actually that was like the predominant influence, right? But basically everyone picked up immediately on Egypt for the desert, like no problem, right? But a lot of people were saying like, oh well, Sumeru isn't very Arabic, right? It's not very Iraqi. It's not very, but it's like, well, I mean, that's just because you're thinking about these stereotypical things that you've seen in pop media, right? Like these are things that you wouldn't think of. You wouldn't immediately go, oh yeah, this is totally Persian. This is totally Iranian. It was, you know, like they wouldn't think that. And there's a lot of Indonesian influence in Sumeru as well. And like people don't see that either because Indonesia isn't really commonly represented at all in Western media, at least. I don't know elsewhere. I can't speak for that, but
Rain outlines your fate.
You know what I mean. So I think that's where it's really easy to miss. Like, Japan is another big one. Japan kind of... yes, Japan. I'm just leaving it there. Yeah. It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. Greatrix, thanks for the super. Sumeru is based on the migration of Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism across the Middle East, South Asia, Southeast Asia, and a lot of names are very Malay. Yeah, that's the thing. There's so many influences. It's really difficult to just say, like, oh, it's based off this one region. Well, like, the most visible influence might be that one region, but that doesn't mean, like, everything is just that, right? Yeah, anyway, I'm in agreement on that. I think this is I think one of the things I really like about this game in particular is the fact that it gives us a lot of that opportunity that you don't get often to actually... Oh, I messed that up. I meant to use special. Okay, that's... Okay. I hit the wrong button. That's okay. We'll just do it this way. I'll just do it the bad way. I'll hate them wrong. That's alright, right? No one really cares if I play him wrong. Do they? No one cares. Did I skip it? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Hold on. Let me go look. YouTube's doing that thing where it moves my shit around. I think I skipped too. Oh heck, thank you for the super chat as well. I see the little lemon sucking a lime. Or is it drinking? I can't tell what it's doing. Why is it so small? It's really funny. I'm sorry. I am so sorry, but thank you so much for your super. Do you think in the future we will get a character that uses darkness, abyss, power? This is like years down the line once we explore the world. No, I think we've already got it in the Numa Osea. Like, I think the Numa Osea reactions are the light darkness reaction. I don't think we're gonna get an actual light and darkness element. I have more reasoning for this, but it kind of extends out into the rest of Hoyo versus properties. Which is kind of a... I have this now. Yep. So in Star Rail, for example, we started with Quantum. So we've got Quantum, Wind, Fire, Ice, Physical, and Imaginary, right? Thing is in Genshin, we don't have Imaginary, and we don't have Quantum. And I don't think we're gonna get them either, because we also have Animo and Geo, right? And I kind of think that that's their limit. I think they limit themselves to kind of like to 7-ish. And I don't think they like to go beyond that. We also have Dendro too, to think of it. So they actually have more. Well, I guess that's because we don't really consider physical actual element type in Genshin. Whereas in Star Rail, it actually is an element type. So that kind of, sorts itself out. I also think it would just be too complicated reaction-wise. Like, I don't know how many of you actually remember what it was like to play Genshin before Dendro was a thing, but basically we were in the Melt Vape meta. That was it. You played Melt Vape, and that was kind of all you could play. If you played anything else, people made fun of you. And then Dendro came along, and then suddenly, oh, Elemental Mastery is a useful stat? What? You mean we actually have to do these complex reactions with 3 elements? What do you mean? Like, that was a real thing that people kind of had to, like... I don't really want to say come to terms with, but they had to get used to. These were things that and Dendro made things really complicated because they had two-step reactions. Because, like, if you combine Bloom, it's just, like, the Bloom reactions especially were very tricky for a lot of people to get their heads around, and I think some people still struggle with them. Yeah, Gon, you did dominate too. You're right. You're right. That was a big thing. And Raiden was considered overpowered. Now she's considered, oh, Raiden's so weak. It's like, no, I don't think she is. I think perceptions just change over time. Yeah, I feel like introducing light and dark would just overcomplicate the reaction system to the point where I think they would have a very difficult time balancing it. And I feel like people already feel like this game isn't balanced very well. Which, you know, like, I kind of don't understand at some level because, like, gacha games are designed to be imbalanced by default. Like, they're gacha games. The more you pay, the more unbalanced the game gets. The longer you play, the more unbalanced the game gets. So, like, I get kind of confused in that sense as well. When people expect a gacha game to be, like, perfectly balanced, it's a bit weird for me. But maybe that's just a me thing.
Here you are.
I think it'll be too complicated. Buddy, I thought I gave you actual crit rate. What is your problem? Why are you struggling? Why does my Kuki crit more than you, Alhaitham? What the heck is wrong with you? Oh. I see what's wrong with you. You probably lost something of yours, huh? Here's 10, 10, 9. Probably. Hang on. Nope. 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 Thought I had a crit one. Oh yeah, Kaveh has it. That's why. Kaveh took it. This is all Kaveh's fault. Okay. That explains a lot. Okay, well, you're not getting it back. So wait. Did that right. Here we go. Yeah, you can have this one. That's better. I'll take it. Now he'll crit. Now he'll crit. Now he'll crit. Now he'll crit.
It's all yours.
All right. Yeah, but I don't think we're gonna get. I think at best, I said this a while back before Fontaine came out. I said I believe the best we're gonna get is like having light and dark be like some sort of auxiliary element, rather than it being like its own element, like getting a darkness character or a light character or something like that. Like I just didn't think that was gonna happen, and I think that's exactly what we've seen happen with Numa Osea, because that's what it is, right? Like Lenny is Pyro, but he's also Numa. I just think that that's all they're gonna do with it. I don't think it's gonna be anything more than that. I feel like that'll disappoint a lot of people, but it's so much better. Thank you for critting. Jeez. I want to sit in the... Come back, fishies. Swim around me. I want to feel like a golden lord of the sea. Wham. I am fish. Anyway, yeah. Those are all my thoughts on the matter. Kira, thanks for the super. What do I think will happen in Acts 3 and 4? Well, I think we're gonna bust Child out of jail first. That'll probably be Act 3. I said this in my my Archon Quest recap video thing. I think that I guess Act 4 would probably involve us trying to clear Arlecchino's name or to prove her innocence. Because I actually do think that she will be put on trial. In the video I made, I wrote that it would be like a trial wherein she's accused of theft, but she didn't really do it, and Linny is the one who defends her. But I also thought that the Oratrice might be powered by the Gnosis, and if it is, then, and she was blamed for stealing the Gnosis, then you would have basically a trial where you couldn't have the Oratrice's judgment because it would be not functional. Oh. Wait. So that's what I kind of think with Acts 3 and 4. But I kind of get the feeling that Act 5, because I think it will be a 5-act thing. I don't think they're going to wrap it up like that. There's going to be a 5. Because we're going to probably get 2 in 4.1, right? So we're going to get 3 and 4 in 2.1. Sorry, in 4.1. And then we'll get the final act in 4.2, because that's when we got Nahida last time. So it's most likely when we're going to get Furina this time. So we get her in 4.2. That means we'd get her story quest in 4.2, and we'd get the final arc of the Archon quest. Potentially, there could even be 6 if they give us 2 in 4.2. I don't think they would, but they might. You never know. I think there's potential for another Harbinger that we haven't seen hide or hair of to just show up in Act 5. So version 4.2. Did I already go down here? I think I already did. We've already been down here. I got a lot of Hydroculuses this time. Mystery Manism! Thank you for the super. Speaking of the knave, I saw a crack theory on TikTok that Dottore is getting the children for his experiments from the House of the Heart of the Knave. Thoughts? That's plausible. I do think that's quite plausible. There's a lot to suggest that that could be the case. But it also implies that Arlecchino and Dottore may have personal beef. Because I actually legitimately think Arlecchino likes her children. I can't see a damn thing. Okay, we're just going to restart this one because I'm apparently blind. LOL. Tree branches make it hard to see. Thank you. Oh, wait. We wanted to hear Child's voice lines because I haven't heard them. We're gonna swap back.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Don't you have the same line as like 2 other people? That's lame. Talking about Arlecchino, what do you think about the lore and all of that old knave leaving Arlecchino as a good person? I don't understand that question. I mean, Arlecchino basically killed the previous owner of the House of the Hearth. It's
A bitter pill to swallow.
and she was a kid when she did it. So like I think she's gonna be plenty spicy in that
Mind the
sense.
side effects.
I think she'll be plenty spicy in that way. I think she's gonna be a little bit paranoid, a little bit anxious, and extremely overprotective, character-wise.
You can run, but you can't hide.
That's just the vibe I got. But yeah, I mean, like, she's definitely a kid in the system. She's been through everything. She knows what it's like. She might not be the best parental figure, but I think her general intentions are decent. But we also have to consider that she is in charge of the section of the Fatui that literally raises child soldiers. So, I mean, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I guess. I do think she's more of an ally than anything else, though. TikTok theories do tend to be a bit out there, but I don't think that one's too far off base.
Becomes the hunted.
Don't all Harbingers have beef with each other? I mean, kind of. They kind of do. I mean, they all have their own agendas, and I'm sure that they're, you know, often conflicting with the agendas of other Harbingers. I do not doubt that for 1 second. But I think that some of them may have more specific grudges or more specific relationships than just, this is my coworker and he's an asshole. You know what I mean?
No time
I
to
have
lose.
heard if you kill all these birds, you can get or you can get a chest. So I'm gonna try and kill all the birds. Ow! That was so rude of you.
Look alive.
Squall and fury. Search for it.
How dare you interrupt my hunting? Leave me to hunt in peace. Oh. Kyle, you suck. He's better now.
Riptide.
This is the weirdest combat music, can I just say? It's like a waltz. Oh, this takes too long. I'm sorry. Okay, I have 3 of them. There should be 2 more. There's 1. Hello, little birdie. Ha! Okay, that's 4. There should be 1 more, but I don't remember where he is. We'll find him. You'll see. And the treasure shall... Oh, there he is. Aha! Chest is mine!
Not bad.
I know, we'll get the ceiling in a second. I just wanted to get the chest first, because, I didn't want to spook the birdies. Do I think the water of the Primordial Sea is the same one in the chasm? I mean, it could be. If it's not the same, then it's actually probably, like, similar types of stuff. But I think it's plausible. I think it would make sense if it was.
Fury.
The postmaster isn't happy that I've been looting these mailboxes.
Take it.
Yay! Wait, was that the Sealy? Where'd it go? Was that the Sealy? Did it go to its court and I didn't see it because I was fighting the thing? Uh-oh. Where's the court? I mean, it must have done, yeah? Where's the court? Is it there? No, you don't see it. I'm blind. Oh, is it inside the house? Let me in. I don't know where the court went. Well, the court is missing and so is the Sealy. Goodbye, Sealy. It was nice knowing you. The voice lines are in the voiceover tab. I know they are, but I don't want to scroll through all that. I'd rather just open a treasure chest and be surprised by the randomness. I like the feeling of discovery. Let me explore. I seriously don't see a Sealy court. Where the hell did it go? What the hell? Is it glitched? Okay, I'm actually upset now. Where the heck is it? It's not just me, right? Like, it's not... What? I don't see it. Maybe I'm just blind. Maybe I'm just blind. I think it glitched. I'll come back later. It's fine. It's fine. I don't care. It gave me the chest. That's if the Sealy's happy, then I'm happy too. And it can just we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Too slow.
Yeah, we'll do it later. It's okay.
Squall Fury.
Ah. Man, Fontaine's shipping system is pretty shitty. Like, look at all these container ships just sitting around. Like, who's dealing with these? Is this not, like, a logistical nightmare? What happens if there's food inside and these are, like, spoiling? Aren't you losing, like, a lot of money? Like, what is wrong with these people? These aren't refrigerated.
The wind rises.
It's actually Newark, New Jersey. Yeah.
Quit following me.
I suppose that's true. Those of you who don't have Wanderer, how do you survive? I don't understand. I've completely forgotten what it's like to not be able to just go, well, chew! Yelan and Kazuo. Okay, yeah, Yelan's a good argument. I guess everyone has Lynette now, too. Lynette probably helps a bit. I would assume. She doesn't have as long of a dash as Yelan does, but, you know, she's still cool. You just walk normally. Okay. Do I really think Columbine is weaker than Dottore and Capitano? Oh god, yeah. I think Dottore is actually the strongest thing in this entire game. I legitimately think Dottore is the strongest enemy we're ever gonna have to face. And I am including Celestia in that. Yeah, really. Have I done the Henry quest? Yes, I have. We went by it. You saw, he's not there anymore. I saved him.
Squall and Fury.
Well, saved is a strong word. Garmish doesn't stand a chance yet? I mean... Shinji overcame all odds in Evangelion. Scaramouche can do it too. Please elaborate. I will in a video that will come out like next weekish. Well, this coming weekish. Did I pull for Linny? Yes, I did. I pulled for the Magic Band. I have him. He's fun. I suck at him, but he's fun. He still needs some work. But I'm still farming like a lot of talent books and stuff. Oh, no, no, no. Scar has daddy issues, too. Dottore is his dad, for all intents and purposes. Like, let's not split hairs.
Too slow.
I know Dottore didn't give birth to him, but he basically took care of him for 500 years and treated him like shit the whole time. One of the only father figures he ever had, besides Niwa and the gang. And Niwa and all them were great parental figures until Dottore screwed them up. And then Dottore kind of took their place. And that's why I'm just like, yeah, so Dottore is like his daddy issue problem. Elon can't do that. Took care in quotes. Yes, exactly. What if Dane was the first Harbinger and that's how we will fit all of the Harbingers? No, Dane is so at odds with what the Harbingers are trying to do that you're going to have to do a lot to convince me he has anything to do with them at all. Like, everything he does is so at odds with the Fatui. Besides, we already know what his constellation is, and it's not on the Fatui ring.
Behold.
You do 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 do.
Quit following me.
I want the birdie juice. You get bird juice? No more bird juice. Okay, well that's a shame. I get oranges though. Oranges are nice. Vitamin C, no scurvy. Yeah? And a good place to sit. Well then. Is my Scar C6? Yes, he is. Well, this one is. The one on my EU account is C0. Actually, one of the reasons I wanted to get my EU account was so that I could have a C0 Scara. So that I could test both of them. What's this constellation? Oh, you mean Dane's? Dane's constellation is the snake ring. And there are no snakes and no rings on the Fatui wheel.
The wind rises.
They not a Fatui. What do I think is the floating tower thingy? You mean in the middle of the water? I think that's Maripede. How do you know his constellation? It's on his wiki page. What do you mean, how do I know his constellation? It's on his wiki page. So when characters get released, they get those character cards, right? Well, the Traveler and Dainsleif also have character cards that were just released before the game came out. And because they were released before the game came out, like a lot of people aren't aware of them. Dane's is only available in Chinese, but it literally says his constellation on it. Don't worry, I murder equally. I will not let you feel pain for the death of your little bird friend, little doggy. Goofy and Donald be reunited in heaven. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to see Dane's stuff, you should just go look at the Genshin wiki. It's on there. And they even did the nice thing of translating it for you.
Squall and fury.
Do I think we'll get new playable elements? No, I think this is it. I think we'll get new game mechanics, but I don't think we'll get new playable elements. I think New Messia is all you get. I got Tartaglia. Yeah! If you guys weren't here at the start of the stream, let me regale to you my tales of Tartaglia. So, I had 3 fates. And I was at 7 on my 4-star pity. So here's my Lynette. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip Lenny. So here's 5, 6, 7. I had 3 fates. And I was like, well, I'll throw the 3 fates and see if I get Remine on the 10th. And I think that's like, you know, just so I could have him. And the first friggin' fate I toss is this guy. I'm literally 4 away from my Linny. So no, I didn't pull for him. It just so happened that he heard me talking shit and was like, hey, let's fight. And I'm like, all right.
Plotting and scheming on an ever grander scale, no doubt.
Well, I wasn't like trying to pull for the 4-star necessarily because like I had just gotten Linny. So it's like I wasn't expecting to get anything. I was just like, well, I'm going to hit the 4-star pity. Let's just see if I can get a Fremine. If I can get a Fremine, that's great. If I can't, that's fine. But then I got a child. I was expecting like a Sayu, and I did get a Sayu.
The wind rises.
I don't have Fremine. And that's okay. Like, that's fine. I can't complain about a free 5-star at 4 pity. I can't. Am I enjoying him so far? I mean, like, he's fine. I don't really have a use for him on my account, but I'm going to try and build him up so that he's, you know, like, usable for overworld stuff and to mess around with and whatever. Accidentally got a child. Should have practiced safe wishing. I will wish with a condom on next time. I will put a condom on my wishing finger. I will practice my safe summoning. Don't you key smash at me, Harley. You're the one who started it. What kind of response were you expecting? I missed a lot of Hydroculi in the city. My goodness. I thought I got them all, but apparently not. Okay, then. Okay, say something better than not bad.
Now I just need to get my hands on the rest.
Acceptable. A sperm whale, a child. Yeah. More arguments that child is a sperm whale. I know he's a narwhal. It's a joke. Anyway, I think I'm gonna call it here for tonight, guys.
No time to lose.
It's starting to get late, and my puppies are eyeing me like, "Hey, why can't we cuddle? It's cuddle time." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I guess it is. It is cuddle time. It is puppy cuddle time." And not cuddle puppies at my desk; they are too big. But yeah. Harley, since you're here, tell me if I'm absolutely insane for thinking that we'll probably get the Dottore video out this week-ish, maybe. If not, then the next video that's gonna come out is gonna be the Project Teyvat one, and then we'll see what happens after that. I'm actually playing kind of fast and loose because this patch feels like it's gonna be less theory, more lore recap kind of stuff. Just because there's a lot to learn, a lot to cover. So those are probably like the only two theories I'm gonna do, and I might do the philosopher one, but that might actually just bleed into... That might bleed into the next patch. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for showing up, for hanging out with me. I was as completely distracted as I normally am. So my apologies. I don't know if it's better to have text-to-speech or if you guys like it better without text-to-speech. I like the fact that text-to-speech lets me not lose things, but at the same time, it kind of forces the pace of the discussion, so I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure which is better at this point. But are you spying on that girl? What a little creep. Look at this little creep. Look at him. Look.
Tidal wave.
Exposed. Doing it right next to a cop, too. The kid has no shame. All right. I'm actually gonna go. My dogs are giving me the stink eye. I gotta go. Anyway, thanks guys so much for showing up. I hope stream's okay. I'm gonna check back quality wise and make some adjustments and see if we're okay now. Because again, I did lose all of my settings when I had to get a new computer, so hopefully it's all right. But thanks again. See you guys next time. Take care. Bye bye. Farewell. So long. Auf Wiedersehen.